As we quickly approach the new year, let's talk about all the LEGO Star Wars leaks and rumors that we know of headed into 2025. The January wave is once again looking electric. We are back to the original roots of a great January wave, starting off with the Ahsoka's Jedi Interceptor. This is going to be set 75401 and it's going to retail for $45. In the set, there are going to be 3 minifigures with obviously Ahsoka, we're going to get Anakin, and we're going to get an R7A4. And there was also an accident on LEGO accidentally giving the R7 head in another LEGO set, and the image of that made its way online. So that pretty much confirms without officially confirming that this set is going to be happening, because we see the R7 head and it's in production. Next on the list for $80 is the long-awaited ARC-170. We had this set a few years back and fans loved it, and once again we have another one. This is going to retail for $80 and it's going to include a ton of minifigs, which is awesome to see. I'm super excited to see exactly what upgrades they make over the previous model, and what's it going to look like, how are the minifigures going to look. Just a lot of hype going into the set. You knew it wouldn't be a year for LEGO Star Wars unless they had a few Mandalorian themed sets, and our first Mandalorian themed set of the year is going to be a Grogu and Pram. We did get a buildable Grogu a few years back, and that has been a bestseller for LEGO. So for the $100 price point, how big do they plan on making Grogu? And what play features will there be? Will you be able to remove Grogu from the Pram? Will you be able to spin the Pram around? We don't know any of that information just yet, but I hope sooner rather than later we can get some more definitive answers on that. There's also another Mandalorian set coming out in the January wave with a 4+ N1 Starfighter. Once again, it seems like the last 3 years in a row we've had N1 Starfighters with polybags, and then we had the play set, and now we have the 4+ set. So all we need to finish off this is a UCS version of the N1 Starfighter, which could happen in 2026 with the Mando and Grogu movie happening. So we have to wait and see for that. But once again, LEGO gets in their fix of Mandalorian sets with 2 of them right here with a buildable Grogu Pram and a 4+ N1 Starfighter. Rounding off January are the Midi-Scale sets. I'm super excited that LEGO is continuing with this theme. I think it's awesome, and these 3 sets are going to be set 75404, a Midi-Scale Acclimator for $50, which many people thought it could have been a Venator. We got the UCS Venator not too long ago. LEGO already made a Super Star Destroyer Midi-Scale set, and then previously they had a Millennium Falcon and a Star Destroyer originally starting off the Midi-Scale theme. So maybe they could have brought back a redone Star Destroyer Midi-Scale set, but they went with the Acclimator, a set that fans, myself included, would have never imagined LEGO would have made, especially in this size. I'm super excited to see how it turns out. I think it's going to be awesome, and hopefully we do get that Venator eventually. Next is the Mon Calamari Cruiser, or the Midi-Scale Home 1. This is where we most notably see Admiral Akbar, so I'm super excited for this. Once again, another set that LEGO has yet to make as a playset or UCS set. Will they ever do that? We don't know yet. I would like to think that they would, but maybe they're waiting to see exactly how they sell as Midi-Scale sets, or maybe they feel they can do the best justice for these sets as Midi-Scale sets. The final Midi-Scale set, also retailing for $50, is going to be Kylo Ren's shuttle. A few years back, we had a playset version of Kylo Ren's shuttle. Absolutely phenomenal set. And in the future, I hope we see a Kylo Ren shuttle as a UCS set. But we are getting a Midi-Scale Kylo Ren set. And this is great because we know that LEGO isn't going to be making any sequel sets or a ton of them anytime soon, I really feel, because of how the majority of fans feel about it. I'm sure when they released them, LEGO also saw that they weren't selling as well. So LEGO is going to be releasing a rare sequel set now with Kylo Ren's shuttle, and this is one that I think the majority of the community loves, the Kylo Ren shuttle, so I'm super excited for this. I think it's a great addition, and it's a good way to integrate another sequel set slowly back into the LEGO Star Wars mix. Hopefully it gets a good shelf life, and hopefully LEGO says, let's make a UCS set of this ship. January is once again looking very stacked, but May might just beat it out. Starting off with set 75399, the U-Wing, an Andor-related set about time with Andor Season 2 happening. It's great that we are getting an Andor set with this U-Wing. for $80. I am so excited to see what it's going to look like, what the minifigs are going to look like. The U-Wing is very similar to the ARC-170 in terms of it's been a while since LEGO made a previous model of it, and now we get to see exactly what the upgraded set and minifigs will look like. Staying on the topic of Andor really quick, there is rumblings of another Andor set happening later this year, but we don't know anything else about that, just some rumblings. So there could be a possible second Andor set. Nothing has been officially confirmed, set in stone, so keep your eyes peeled for that. Next up is the buildable Star Wars logo. This one's a bit questionable in my opinion, just because it's not going to include a minifig, unlike the Marvel one, which is going to include a number of minifigs. And that one has already been leaked of what it's going to look like. So we have a good idea of what the Star Wars one is going to look like in terms of design. And me personally, these logos don't interest me too much. I think the Marvel one is the better of the two, even though we don't have images for the Star Wars one, just because it has figs that make it seem more alive. And I really feel this should have included a George Lucas minifig. At the very least, it should have included a Luke and Vader minifig. Just give us something more than the buildable logo itself. Our next set is the UCS set for May, and that is going to be a Jango Fett Starship. In 2015, we had the Boba Fett UCS set, and now all these years later, we are getting a Jango Fett one, which is amazing. This set is going to have two minifigs with a Jango Fett, who we haven't seen since 2017, and a young Boba Fett. I know some people are saying maybe you can get a third or fourth minifig. We know that 2015 one included more minifigs than this one's rumored for, but the current times with LEGO pricing and how the pricing has been, I don't see them including any more than two figs. It's been pretty standard for the last few years for these May UCS sets to only include two minifigures. Regardless, I expect the size of this to be pretty similar, if not exactly the same as the Boba Fett one from 2015, just because they are the same ship. I think that they are going to be very similar builds in terms of technique. I wouldn't be surprised if they changed a thing or two up just to make them look a little bit different. At the end of the day, it is the same ship, just color swapped, so I don't think they need to do all too much different. I still think regardless, it's going to be a great set. And don't forget that the Obi-Wan Kenobi Jedi Starfighter is still on shelves, so I would recommend picking that up if you do want to get the UCS Jango Fett Starship. They would look awesome together. It would be a great display piece to have both of these sets together. I think you can really set the scene there with that, and just keep that in mind if you are thinking about picking up this set. Going back to buildable characters, we have Chopper. This one's been long awaited, and it's going to be for around $100. This one's rumored to be in scale with the buildable R2-D2. That is also $100. So this one won't include an anniversary fig like R2-D2 did. Maybe it might not be as good of a value as that R2-D2, but there's no doubt in my mind that this chopper will be awesome. We did technically get a buildable chopper in the Droid Creative Play Factory set from this past year, so even though that's not the most fan favorite set, it's still technically a chopper, but this is going to be what I'm going to consider the first official standalone chopper. That's what I'm going to say. It's a standalone chopper, non-minifig chopper, and this is what fans have been waiting for. And will LEGO ever make a larger UCS type buildable chopper? It seems like they're pretty happy from what they saw with the smaller R2-D2, and maybe that's the way they go for these buildable droids from now on, downsizing them and releasing them in this scale. Either way, I still think this is going to be a great set. Speaking of Starfighters, Plo Koon Starfighter is back, another previous set returning. I couldn't be more excited for this. It's going to be just epic. Another Revenge of the Sith set. That's what I'm going to call this, because we are getting an ARC-170, and then we're also getting a Plo Koon Starfighter. So let's put two and two together here, and if we can remember, there was a certain scene in a certain movie, Revenge of the Sith, when we saw ARC-170s and Plo Koon Starfighter. You guys get what I'm talking about here. So indirectly, LEGO is recreating this scene without officially advertising it as that, which is pretty exciting overall, because we need Revenge of the Sith sets. This is an anniversary year for Revenge of the Sith, and we need to start piling on those sets. One of the best Star Wars movies of all time. So we are continuing it strong with a Plo Koon Starfighter. The helmet line is scheduled to return this year, and the two helmets featuring in that return are going to be Jango Fett and an AT-AT pilot helmet, and I think both of these are fantastic ideas. Obviously, we have the Jango Fett's UCS set coming out, so I feel that was a almost obvious choice, and it will go really well with the Boba Fett helmet. And the AT-AT driver helmet, was supposed to come out a few years ago, but then for whatever reason, LEGO said, you know what, we're going to scrap that, and they are now going to be releasing it this time around. So super excited for that. It should look awesome. And the word on the street is that the helmet line is returning and going to be replacing the diorama sets. I don't know how true that is. All we have is word of 2 helmets. So maybe there will be 1 diorama to release later in the year. But at this time, there has been no talk of any dioramas. Nobody knows a thing about dioramas at this point. So is this the end of dioramas, or are they just taking a year off? Who knows exactly, but I am very happy to see that the helmet line is returning. And at the end of the day, if we needed to get rid of dioramas to bring back the helmet line, I'm all for it. Now, rumored for either the June or August release is a Night Trooper Battle Pack. This is going to include 4 minifigs with 3 Night Troopers and a Captain Enoch. Now, the Captain Enoch fig is where my issue lies here. I don't really like the whole named characters in battle packs. I feel I need to leave those out of them. I feel Captain Enoch should have been in the Duel on Peridia set, but you know what? LEGO is still giving us a Captain Enoch. At the end of the day, at least we're getting a Captain Enoch. I just don't like named characters in battle packs. And obviously LEGO can't please everybody with every decision they make, but I just don't like named characters in battle packs. But I'm still optimistic about this one. There have been some rumblings about an Ewok village coming out as the big UCS set towards the end of the year. And while there's nothing confirmed on that, there have been rumblings on another buildable character with a buildable Ewok. This one has been rumored to be $90, and there's nothing too concrete set in stone. I've been seeing things from some people haven't even mentioned it, so I don't know the entire truth behind it. How legit is it? So I'm just going to leave that out there, that this is a possibility. It's not as concrete as some of these other rumors and leaks. Take it with a grain of salt and do with this as you will. But let's just say that this is true and there will be a buildable Ewok. What does that mean for the potential of a buildable Ewok village? And honestly, I don't think it affects the chances that we can see a Ewok village at the end of the year. I think that with the Mos Eisley Cantina set to retire at the end of the year, the chances of an MBS set in 2025, or at the very least 2026, are extremely high. And LEGO is releasing a Jango Fett helmet with a Jango Fett UCS set, so they can easily do a buildable Ewok and release a massive Ewok village at the end of the year. They could do whatever they want. In my opinion, this has no impact on the potential for an Ewok village at the end of the year. From what we know so far, 2025 is going to be a crazy year, and it might just be better than the year we had in 2024, which will be insane because 2024 was absolutely crazy. So let me know what sets you're most looking forward to in 2025. What sets are you trying to pick up in 2024 before they retire? And I'll see you in the next one.